Welcome to English Emporium. I am Jay, and today I want to tell you a story that teaches English, but also something much deeper, something that can change the way you think about your future. This story is about a simple idea, the psychology of success. Not luck, not talent, not background, but the hidden psychology that decides who rises and who stops. So, take a deep breath, relax, and listen closely, because the words you hear today may stay with you for a long time. Let's begin. Many years ago, in a small town, there lived a boy named Aaron. He wasn't born rich, he wasn't born talented, and he definitely wasn't born confident. He was quiet, shy, always afraid of making mistakes. Even in school, when he knew the answer, he stayed silent. Why? Because he was scared of being wrong, scared of being judged, scared of failing. Maybe you have felt this too. That fear, that voice inside your mind that whispers, "Don't try. What if you fail?" That voice controlled Aaron's life. But one day, everything changed. And it changed because of one moment, one sentence, one simple conversation that awakened something powerful inside him. It happened on a hot afternoon at his school. Aaron was sitting alone, looking down at a book filled with complicated English vocabulary. He hated English. He thought it was too hard. He believed he would never understand it. Just then, his old English teacher, Mr. Dev, walked by. He looked at Aaron's sad face and sat next to him. In a calm voice, he asked, "Why do you look defeated even before you start?" Aaron didn't look up. He whispered, "Sir, I know I'm not good enough. I try to learn, but I forget. I try to read, but I don't understand. I feel like success is not for people like me." Mr. Dev smiled gently. He closed the book and said, "Aaron, do you know the psychology of success?" Aaron shook his head. Mr. Dev continued, "The psychology of success is simple. Successful people are not born special. They simply think differently. Their mind works differently. They react to challenges differently. And once you learn this psychology, your whole life changes." Aaron looked confused. "How can thinking differently change anything?" he asked. The teacher replied, "It changes everything. Let me explain." And this is where Aaron's transformation began. And this is where your transformation may begin too. Mr. Dev told him, "There are 3 hidden powers inside every successful person. The power of perspective, the power of persistence, and the power of self-belief. When you master these 3, success becomes a journey, not a dream." Aaron listened carefully, for the first time in his life, feeling a spark inside him. So the teacher began with the first one, the power of perspective. He said, "Perspective means how you see a situation. When something goes wrong, most people think it's the end, but successful people think it's the beginning. They don't see problems. They see possibilities. They don't see failure. They see feedback." These words hit Aaron deeply, because every time he made a mistake, he punished himself. He felt ashamed. He felt weak. But his teacher continued, "Aaron, if you see mistakes as proof that you cannot do it, you will quit. But if you see mistakes as proof that you are trying, you will grow." Aaron felt something shift inside him. For the first time, he questioned his own thoughts. Maybe he was not failing because he was weak. Maybe he was failing because he was thinking wrongly. Then came the second power, the power of persistence. Mr. Dev leaned forward and said slowly, "Persistence means you try again, and again, and again, even when you feel tired, even when you feel lost, even when no one believes in you. Most people stop at the first challenge, but successful people stay until the challenge breaks. Aaron looked up. Sir, but what if I don't have the strength to continue? The teacher replied, No one has the strength in the beginning. Strength grows when you continue, not before. A seed does not grow because you stare at it. It grows because it pushes. It pushes through darkness. It pushes through soil. It pushes until it reaches the light. Aaron understood something powerful that day. He wasn't weak. He simply wasn't patient. And then came the final power. The power of self-belief. Mr. Dev's voice softened. He said, Aaron, success begins in the mind before it appears in life. If you believe you are capable, your actions change, your habits change, your courage increases. And slowly, life starts opening doors. Aaron asked, But what if others don't believe in me? The teacher smiled. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need you to believe in you. That is enough. Silence filled the room. Aaron felt a warm heaviness in his chest, a feeling he had never felt before. Hope. A simple question then came to his mind, a question that changed his journey forever. He asked quietly, Sir, if I truly try, can I become successful? Mr. Dev placed his hand on Aaron's shoulder and said, Yes, but only if you change the way you think. Success is not outside you, it is inside you. And it grows the moment you stop running from challenges and start walking toward them. That day, Aaron went home with a different heart, a different mind, a different energy inside him. He opened his English book again. The same difficult words were still there. The same grammar was still confusing. But something was different. This time, he didn't say, I can't. He said, I will try again. And that was the beginning of his success psychology. He started practicing every day, slowly, patiently. He read stories. He repeated phrases. He wrote simple sentences. He made mistakes, a lot of mistakes. But he kept going because he remembered the teacher's words. Mistakes are feedback, not failure. And day by day, the impossible started becoming possible. His reading improved, his confidence improved, his English improved, and his life began to open. This is where the story begins to change completely. And in the next part, I will tell you how Aaron discovered a secret technique that multiplied his growth and changed his destiny. Aaron's journey continued with a new fire inside him. For the first time in his life, he wasn't studying because he was forced to. He was studying because he wanted to. He wanted to grow. He wanted to change. He wanted to prove to himself that his life could become more than his fears. Every morning, Aaron woke up early. He sat near the window, opened his notebook, and whispered the same words to himself. I will try again and again until trying becomes my strength. And slowly, something inside him began to shift. But the real turning point arrived a few weeks later, a moment that truly awakened the psychology of success within him, a moment that would change his life forever. It happened on a rainy evening. Aaron was walking home from school, holding his books under his shirt to protect them from the rain. He walked past a small tea stall, where an old man was sitting with a newspaper. But this wasn't an ordinary old man. This was a retired professor known in the town for his wisdom. His name was Professor Raghav. The professor looked at Aaron, noticed the books under his shirt, and called out gently, Young man, why are you hiding your books from the rain? Aaron smiled shyly. I don't want them to get wet, sir. These books, they are important to me. The professor nodded. Good. But remember, protecting your books is easy. Protecting your mind, that is the real work. Aaron didn't fully understand. He stood there, confused, as the professor continued. You look like someone who is trying to grow, but growth does not happen only through reading. Growth happens when you understand how your mind works. Do you know the strongest part of the human mind? Aaron shook his head. The professor looked into the distance and said softly, The strongest part of your mind is the part that listens when you talk to yourself. These words entered Aaron's heart like a quiet arrow. He had never thought about it. He didn't even realize how often he spoke negatively to himself. I am not good enough. I can't do this. I will fail again. The professor continued. Your mind believes whatever you tell it repeatedly. If you speak with fear, you will live with fear. If you speak with courage, you will live with courage. Aaron swallowed hard. He felt as if the professor was reading his thoughts. The professor looked at him with kind eyes. Young man, do you want to learn the real psychology of success? Aaron nodded slowly. The professor said, Then listen very carefully. Success begins when you stop negotiating with your excuses. Every excuse you repeat becomes a wall. Every positive thought you repeat becomes a door. Aaron felt a shiver run through him. He realized how many walls he had built inside his own mind. Walls made of doubt, walls made of fear, walls made of comparison, walls made of memories of failure. The professor said something next that Aaron would never forget. He said, There is a technique used by some of the world's most successful people. A technique so simple, yet so powerful, that it can reshape your entire mindset. It is called repetition with emotion. Aaron leaned forward slightly. What does it mean, sir? The professor smiled. It means you repeat the thoughts you want to believe, with emotion, not laziness. If you say, I will succeed, but your voice is weak, your mind ignores it. But if you say, I will succeed, with strength, with belief, with emotion, your mind begins to accept it as truth. Aaron listened intensely. This was new to him. He had memorized answers. He had repeated lessons, but he had never repeated belief. The professor continued, Your mind is like wet clay. Whatever emotion touches it stays forever. Fear stays, courage stays, doubt stays, but so does confidence. You get to choose which emotion shapes you. Aaron felt his heart beating faster. Something within him was changing again. He asked softly, Sir, how do I use this technique? Aaron's growth continued stronger each day. Morning and night, he repeated his sentence, I can become the person I dream of, with emotion, with belief, with courage, and day by day, this sentence became part of him. His English improved more than ever before. He started understanding words that once felt impossible. He started speaking complete sentences confidently. He even answered in class sometimes. Not loudly, but bravely. Teachers noticed. Students noticed. Even his family noticed. The psychology of success was working. But every great journey is tested. And Aaron's test was waiting. Just around the corner. One morning, the principal made an announcement. There would be an English speech competition. Every class must select one student to speak on stage, in front of the entire school. The topic was simple. What does success mean to you? Immediately, fear returned to Aaron's heart. His chest tightened. His hands shook. The old voice whispered in his mind, You can't do it. You will fail. Everyone will laugh. He tried to ignore the voice. He tried to breathe. He tried to stay calm. but somewhere deep inside, he was scared. Later, in English class, Mr. Dev entered with a bright smile. He said, "We must choose someone from this class, someone who has shown the strongest improvement in English, someone who has proven what progress looks like." Every student looked around, waiting, guessing, but Aaron looked down at his desk, wishing to disappear. Then the teacher's voice came. "Aaron, you will represent the class." Time stopped. Aaron's heart felt like it would break. He wanted to say no. He wanted to run away. His lips trembled. "Sir, I can't. I'm not ready," he whispered. Mr. Dev walked closer and said gently, "You are ready, Aaron. You have already changed your psychology. Now, you must show the world what belief looks like." Aaron didn't reply, but deep inside, he knew this moment had arrived for a reason. This was the test the professor had spoken about, the test that separates those who think from those who act. That evening, Aaron stood in front of the mirror at home. He looked into his own eyes. He repeated his sentence louder than ever before. "I can become the person I dream of," again and again, until his body relaxed, until his fear began to melt. He spent days preparing, writing his speech, practicing his words, adjusting his voice, standing tall, breathing deep. Every night the negative voice still tried to return, but now Aaron had a stronger voice inside him, a voice born from belief, a voice built by persistence, a voice shaped by perspective. Finally, the day arrived. The school auditorium was full. Hundreds of students sat waiting. Teachers sat in the front row. Bright lights filled the stage. Butterflies danced in Aaron's stomach. His name was called. He stepped onto the stage, his legs shaking slightly, his heart pounding loudly, but he kept moving forward. He reached the microphone. He paused for a moment. He took a deep breath, and he remembered everything: the teacher's words, the professor's wisdom, his own promise. He began. "Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron, and today I want to talk about success." His voice was soft, unsure, but clear. For a long time, I believed success was only for special people, people with talent, people with confidence, people who never fail. He looked around at the audience. Silence. Everyone was listening. But now, I understand the truth. Success is not a gift. Success is a mindset. His voice grew stronger. We all fail. We all get scared. We all doubt ourselves. But successful people do one thing differently. They do not let their fear control their future. He glanced at Mr. Dev, who smiled proudly. Success begins with perspective. When something goes wrong, we must not say, "Why me?" We must say, "Try me." We must see challenges as part of growth, not the end of growth. His hands relaxed. His words flowed. Success continues with persistence, not quitting when it gets hard, not stopping after one failure. Success is when you push, even when you want to stop. Students leaned forward. Aaron felt the power of his own voice. And finally, success is built with self-belief. If you do not believe in yourself, you cannot expect the world to believe in you. Success starts inside your mind, long before it shows in your life. Aaron paused. He smiled gently, a smile of someone who had fought and won inside himself. I used to be afraid of this stage. I used to think I was not good enough. But now, I repeat one sentence to myself, every morning and every night. I can become the person I dream of. He looked at the crowd, not with fear, but with confidence. And you can too. Do not negotiate with your excuses. Do not let fear become a wall. Create doors with your belief. Step through those doors every day. That is the psychology of success. He ended with a gentle bow. The entire auditorium erupted into applause. Teachers stood up. His classmates cheered his name. Some students even had tears in their eyes because they saw courage in front of them. Aaron walked off the stage, heart still racing, but full of joy, full of pride, full of possibility. Mr. Dev hugged him and whispered, "You did not just learn English today. You learned success." Later, the results were announced. Aaron had won the first prize, but the real prize was not the trophy. It was the transformation. A new identity was born inside him. From that day on, Aaron's life changed forever. He studied harder, spoke confidently, taught younger students. He even became the inspiration of his own friends. Years passed. Aaron became fluent in English. He continued learning, growing, evolving. He achieved bigger dreams, dreams that once felt too far away. And whenever someone asked him, "How did you become so successful?" he always smiled and said, "It started when I changed the way I think." Success is not an accident. Success is a decision. Success is psychology, and that psychology lives inside you too. Now, let's learn some important vocabulary and phrases from this story so that you can improve your English while strengthening your mindset. Number 1, against all odds, meaning, even when chances are low, you still try. Example, he succeeded against all odds. Number 2, turning point, meaning, the moment when everything begins to change. Example, meeting the professor was a turning point in Aaron's life. Number 3, self-belief, meaning, trusting your abilities and your potential. Example, self-belief is the foundation of success. Number 4, repetition with emotion, meaning, repeating positive thoughts with strong feelings. Example, repetition with emotion builds confidence. Number 5, do not negotiate with your excuses, meaning, do not let your excuses decide your future. Example, successful people do not negotiate with their excuses. Repeat these phrases with me, slowly, with meaning, with emotion, against all odds. Turning point, self-belief. Repetition with emotion. Do not negotiate with your excuses. These words are not just English. They are tools, tools that can shape your future. Before you leave, I want you to repeat one sentence after me, a sentence that can change your life if you allow it to enter your heart. I can become the person I dream of. Once more, with belief. I can become the person I dream of. Remember, success is not outside you. It is inside you. It begins with perspective, grows with persistence, and flourishes with self-belief. Thank you for watching. This is Jay from English Emporium. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in the future you deserve. I will see you in the next story.